Today we try to figure out where you should put your money if you want to upgrade your budget rig. Guitar, pedals, or amp. Hey guys, my name is Kris.
And my name is Guillaume. Hope you're all doing fantastic today. We are, and we are following on one of you guys' requests.
Yeah.
So after we did the 25K ridiculous rig against the full Harley Benton rig, we received 1 billion comments.
At least.
And tons of them about the video itself and like the fact that it wasn't taking itself too seriously, and that there were a bunch of really cool ways that we could try and make that sort of comparison element a bit more relevant, right?
Yeah.
And one of you guys told us it would be really cool if we did something about where to put your money when you want to upgrade on the gear that you already have. And this is what we are doing today.
Exactly.
So we have a Harley Benton rig that Kris is going to introduce to you right now.
That's an S style, right here, the 62, the ST62. We have 2 Harley Benton pedals, the vintage overdrive and the D-Seed, and a Harley Benton amp, the Tube 15. This is our imaginary rig. So this is like, let's say that's my rig, and I wanna upgrade. I have like money for like a mid-tier kind of gear,
Element,
a professional piece of gear. I could upgrade my guitar, my pedals, or my amp. And I'm not sure which one to spend my money on first, which will make the biggest difference, which makes me feel like I actually significantly upgraded the rig. Yeah.
So we're going to start with that rig, exactly. Then we'll proceed to swap out the guitar first, then the pedals, then the amps. And you guys will let us know which one was the biggest audible difference. Yeah. And then we'll talk about the feel a little bit.
Exactly, because that's your job to decide on the tonal differences, because that's something that you as a viewer can obviously hear immediately and have an opinion, which we definitely want to hear. Our job is to try to give you an impression of being in the room and playing that rig, because that is, in many cases, not exactly the same experience. Let's find out is there a difference between the player's perspective and the listener's perspective? So let's play this rig first.
Yeah.
Do you wanna play something?
Sure.
I play the intro?
Of course you do.
First impression, as the player.
It's definitely more comfortable on this one.
Okay.
There was no setup done on either of these guitars, which is not really representative, because if that one's been your guitar for a while, you're used to it and it's your kind of comfort zone, which is not right now. So I wouldn't judge too harshly on that. All in all, honestly, with the pedals on and the amp, sound-wise, it's pretty close, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some warmth and some
There's a little bit more to that one.
Yeah,
there's a little bit more frequencies in that spectrum.
Yeah, yeah.
But
to be honest, I have the expectation of hearing bigger differences
later on
in this video.
Yeah, for sure.
But definitely, the output was different.
Yeah.
Like this one is a little more presency, and that is a bit more round, which is something that I see very often if I'm comparing more affordable or like more expensive S-type guitars.
Definitely.
That single coilness seems to be almost overwhelmingly in your face if we're going more affordable compared to like a custom shop or a US production.
Talking about the US production one, this is the American Professional 2, so that the latest top of the line sort of Fender, classic Fender. It's
the
not the
production
Ultra,
model,
but
exactly.
yeah.
But this is the kind of mid-tier, professional level instrument.
Yeah.
It's not a custom shop. It's not a budget one. It's right in the middle.
It says it's professional.
Well,
Twice,
then you're a
actually.
professional now, 2 times.
Twice. No, but yeah, definitely. We're looking at least 7 times the price of that, so it's a considerable investment. Not that big of a difference.
I played both a little, and I can tell that I could make this neck feel way more expensive, but it's not like that out of the box. Like the fretboard edge, maybe the fret edges, you could give this guitar some love to feel way more expensive, but that's not gonna happen for 100 something. It's nice, you can play it, the action is low, it works, it just doesn't feel like a more expensive one. Tonally, it's hard to judge.
That's your job, guys.
Exactly.
Let's
next round.
Jump on to the
pedal board.
The cool stuff. I mean, guitars are cool, but pedals are cooler.
And that's how you end up in E minor from B minor. Wrong.
That's the way. That is the way.
I don't know what happened there, but that doesn't matter.
Such a bigger difference.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell that both of these pedals are a green overdrive.
Yep.
The Harley Benton vintage overdrive and the Maxon OD9 and analog delay simulations of digital pedals.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be the DC from Harley Benton on the analog setting and the ARP 87 from Warriors Audio, also on the analog setting.
I do feel like the Maxon mostly in that context makes the biggest difference in terms of like tone shaping and the gain structure of it all. It's a lot sweeter, it's a lot rounder, it's a lot more like nice to the ear. Definitely.
More comfortable to listen to. Like
so is the ARP. Obviously, it's a prettier, cleaner sort of repeat, but I think all in all, that was a way bigger difference than swapping guitars.
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, I didn't play something edgy where the delay has more the focus.
For sure.
So,
I mean, there's so much more to that pedal.
Yeah, of course, obviously. So this is not like, I don't know, a review or whatever. It's just that the delay was a bit less of a difference for me. The overdrive was way more significantly, different in a solistic kind of thing what I played. But one thing should be said, as soon as you play with a band, these differences will become less relevant. I'm not saying you will not necessarily hear it anymore, but way less interesting because of all these cymbals being hit by the drummer and bashing the toms and the bass player going for it. Many frequencies get lost of a guitar rig as soon as you put it in a band mix. But of course, you want to have something that you enjoy playing alone as well.
That's it, right? Yeah,
that's what inspires you to play your rig. So I can hear a difference there. It's for me, it's not a huge difference, but there's a noticeable difference. Let's move on to the amps.
Which I think is going to make the biggest difference.
I'll see about that. Teaser. No spoilers. thing. Wow.
I noticed one difference.
Hello, headroom.
Yeah, it doesn't
Do you wanna
compress anymore. It stopped doing that. Okay, so for any one of you guys who might not be familiar with that concept, if you're pushing the front of an amplifier, it's going to have a certain amount of room available for your spikes to go to. And then when that's running out, then it compresses and
It doesn't get any
transitions
louder.
into saturation,
Exactly.
basically. So yeah, that's what was happening with the volume pretty much a little bit above unity on the Harley Benton, and there was barely any volume jump because the amp started compressing and saturating, and then this one did not.
No. That's an interesting thing because even though there's only 7 watts of wattage difference between the two amps, that's 22. The 215 is, guess what?
Yeah.
And still, there's just a huge difference in the headroom, like when the amp doesn't let any more volume push come through and turn it into more gain, basically.
Yeah. Just in terms of sounds, though, I think this was without a doubt, to me, at least in the room, the biggest difference.
Yeah.
And it's going to translate differently with mics, obviously, for you guys.
Very much so, yeah. The first thing that comes in my mind immediately, I absolutely agree with you. The first thing is, probably the biggest reason for that is that the enclosure is way bigger. Like the Deluxe Reverb, which, by the way, we are using, we didn't say it, it's the Fender Deluxe Reverb, the classic. And that has a way wider housing. It's thinner, like it's not that deep to the back, but it's way wider, so you should expect a different frequency response, a fuller sound, that something that comes closer to a 2x12 cab. Actually, even though there's just one Jensen speaker in it, the 215 is way more compact and it doesn't go that low with the low end with the bass. Still, so that's probably the main reason why it immediately feels like, oh, hello. It's just a bigger sound. But I'm not mostly impressed by the bass, the low end, or the richness down there, because that's the least interesting frequency range for a guitar player, in a mix especially. The airiness and still that bloom, that warmth that you only get from a Blackface if you crank it. By the way, we're at volume 5 right now.
It's pretty loud.
It's pretty loud. If you go back with the volume, it's going to be super hi-fi, like barely any mids and lots of bass and treble. Here, the mids come all of a sudden, and it's just such a good amp at that volume. Yeah,
that brings the point that it's going to depend on your needs as well. And obviously we put these amps or these pedals like as references at a certain price point and something that sells very well and that a lot of guitar players use and have used. But obviously it also depends on what you need. Is it something that you're going to use at home? Do you need that sound but at 65 dB instead of 105. All of that is coming into, consideration as well. But right now the experiment is not really about that. It's just mostly, okay,
this is an average scenario, basically.
Exactly. Like I have budget for the one thing. According to you guys, which one would you pick? The guitar, the pedals, or the amp?
I'm super interested in seeing your opinion on that. And also one more thing. This was a pretty general situation. Like, we took an S-type guitar player who has just 2 pedals, the green pedal, and a clean amp that works with pedals. So that's like a lot of guitar players, but definitely not all of us. So let us know if you want to see a video like this, but a bit more specific in any of the directions, because I think this is actually really useful for a lot of us players. Yeah,
that was useful to me. And now I know I'm going to be buying more amps.
I just fell in love with that amp.
Fewer pedals and more amps.
I thought I'm over with the Deluxe Reverb, but now, let's move on.
All right, and just before we go, a little bonus round just to make sure that the difference is very, very clear. And we're going to be playing the entire budget rig, so Harley Benton pedals, amp, and guitar, versus
the entire non-budget
rig, right?
You guys take it easy. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel. And I don't know what else did I forget.
Nothing.
Okay,
that was
then.
very complete and concise. Congratulations. Thank you.
Tone Socks out.
Peace. You were on the vibrato channel earlier, right?
Yeah.
Of course you were, because you're a man
one.
of good taste.